I've seen this, but we're gonna put it on 1.25, and we're gonna let this guy cook. Game dev versus DEI. Oh, this is a nice one. This is a nice one. Let's watch this.
In the United States, an executive order was made to dismantle DEI programs within federal government and encourage private sectors to end these initiatives. I'm a game developer, and I want to share my insights on DEI in the game industry. First, I want to go over an article that covers diversity data collected by GDC. After that, I want to share my experience with the DEIB initiative at one of the companies I was working at. For those of you new here, my name is Mustafa. I am the solo developer of the indie studio that I founded, Suburb Path. In the past, I've worked at Treyarch during the development of Black Ops 4, and I've worked at Zwift, which is an indoor cycling game. Right now, I develop and publish small games on Steam, such as Nexus Defenders, which is a narrative-driven tower defense game, and Beware Tomorrow, which is currently in development, a first-person stealth horror game. So first, I want to go over this article real quick that was published by thegamer.com very recently.
Can you not hear it? Mrs. Okay, Mr. What's his name? You kind of threw me off a bit. You said sound. I was trying to make sure y'all could hear it, but he's saying, why do all these people sound weak?
As compiled.
So here we go. Women and non-binary devs now make up 32% of all game developers, up from 24% in 2022. Now y'all think, nigga, that's 8%. How likely is it that 8% of all game devs naturally went up from 24% to 32% between 2022 and 2024? You think that's a coincidence? Khalif Adams, I would love to ask you this question. I'm not even trying to be, I ain't trying to be no type of way. I ain't trying to be hostile. I ain't trying to be disrespectful. But you told me that this is not how DEI works. But you're trying to convince me that what's considered like LGBTQ people are like what? What percentage of the population, allegedly? 3%? Oh, no, it's like 1%, is it not? Mike is cutting out. What do you mean? Mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check. Anyway, are you telling me how is it possible that a group that's only 1% of the population suddenly make up 24% of all game developers? Khalif, explain that to me. If John Rock says 2 to 3% of the worldwide population, how is it possible for 24% of game developers to be LGBTQ when they only make up 2.3%, 2 to 3% of the worldwide population? And then how is it all of a sudden that it goes up from 24% to 32% in only 2 years? But DEI doesn't work that way. Stop it, bro. Come on now, Khalif Adams. Come on now.
The main takeaways of this article are that males made 75% of developers in 2020 within the game industry, and in 2024 it dropped down to 66%. But 33% are women plus non-binary. This article also states that around 1/4 of game developers identify as LGBT+. Another point that it focuses on is that 43%, so very close to 50%, of all game developers between age 18 and 24, so Gen Z who are just coming straight out of college, identify as LGBT+. The point that this article brings up about women and non-binary people making 32% of the game industry, I don't want to analyze this number because once they clumped non-binary with women, the number means nothing. The term non-binary means nothing. It's just like that career fair that happened a couple of years ago that was supposed to be for women and non-binary people, and then a bunch of men showed up stating that they are non-binary, so they were allowed in. So the term non-binary means absolutely nothing. You just state it and you are. With the fact that they are clumping non-binary with women, that also means that they are including trans women. It's 32% of women plus men who want to state that there's something other than a man. So this statistic, it means nothing. I'm just going to move on. So the biggest two statistics within this article to point at are these two right here, that 24% of game developers identify as LGBT plus, and then 43% age 18 to 24 identify that as well. The main point that we can tie with this is when we look at how many people identify as that in total.
How many niggas you think lying to keep their job? I would bet any amount of money a lot of these niggas are lying. If I got hired into the gaming industry right now, niggas ask me, so what do you identify as? Well, I'm like, a fucking furry fag monster. That's right. I'm doing it all. I'm taking it. Nah, y'all niggas not clipping me today. Fuck that. Just know that I will identify as an LGBTQ nigga. Yeah, I'm all of that. I'm all of that.
Total in the United States. They make up 7.2% of the United States, but yet they make up 24%, almost a quarter of the entire gaming industry. Nearly 20%, around a fifth of Gen Z identify as this, but almost half of game developers who are within Gen Z identify as this. So you're telling me if you take the 10 of the best and brightest game developers who are Gen Z, 6 of them are straight and 4 of them are LGBT plus. I don't buy that. I feel like that this clearly indicates that these numbers are manufactured due to the hiring processes checking off boxes. And they're checking off very specific boxes. Someone's race.
Now, here's the thing. Again, Khalif Adams. I'm trying to bring you to the front of the congregation because you are the person who's always talking like you in the know, like you know more than everybody else. This is a game developer. I just want to point that out. A game developer, somebody who's more qualified than you and I. He just said himself, checking boxes. You're just checking boxes. Is that not how it works? Are you going to tell him that's not how it works? He actually worked in the industry. You and I are just content creators. I know you like to believe that you're a little bit more than that. But this is an actual game developer. So,
and who they sleep with have nothing to do with whether they should qualify for the job or not. In fact, these statistics and also the fact that the gamer is celebrating this article as if it's a good thing proves that this is an agenda that they've been trying to push. But then once you point out that it's an agenda, they say, what agenda? There is no agenda. We're just trying to get representation and equality. We want fair opportunities for all game developers. If it's fair, then how come 7% of the population are getting a better chance into the game industry than the other 93%? The final point that
Bingo! He said it. If it's fair, how is only 7% of the population getting better chances of getting into the game industry than everybody else? That is the Khalif, I know you call yourself trying to be reasonable. That is not reasonable. You can't make the math make sense. You cannot have 7% of the population be literally 24 and now 32% of the industry and tell me that there isn't an active or concerted effort to hire people that is in that group. It doesn't make sense. You're not telling me that nearly everybody in the LGBTQ community are good at making games. You're not telling me that. You're not telling me that. No, not at all. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't.
What I want to cover about this article is that a lot of people are saying this is proof that's not merit-based. Yes, I agree. I'm probably going to be one of the few people that you'll find on here that's going to have a differing opinion. I do agree merit is important. The person's achievements, their skills, their work history, yes, it is very important. But I don't believe that merit is the only factor that is important when hiring somebody. I do believe in hiring based on team synergy, hiring based on rapport, relationship-based hiring. For example, one of my former coworkers, we've worked together for a really long time. If I have an opening on my team and my former coworker has the basic skills for that opening, I would offer him that opening because I know we both work really well together. We have a history together. We've worked well together. I know that he's a hard worker. He might not be the most skilled person. He might not have the best technical skills, but
Okay.
I know we have good synergy. I know he's a trustworthy person. And also, I believe that showing the potential to learn skills is also important. So while someone might not have the best merit on paper, I don't think merit is always the most important thing. Again, I'm not saying merit is worthless. I'm not saying it is not important. I'm just saying it's not always the most important thing. I
mean, I can see that. I can see that. Some people, I mean, like, you got some people who are the most qualified on paper, but they would be a fucking cancer on your roster. I mean, I can see that.
Zwift back in 2019, and they're an indoor cycling company. Shortly after I joined, they started the DEIB initiative, diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. After the 2020 lockdown started and we were all sent to work from home, we were assigned to start taking these DEIB courses. And these courses were mandatory.
And look who they got. Look who they got on the front of that shit. A fucking black woman. Anytime you take any of these DEI courses at work, it's always a black woman on the front of it. It's never a black man, an Indian woman, an Asian woman, none of that shit. It's always a black woman. But you trying to convince me there's not an agenda? Who you think you're talking to?
This was one course that would educate us about our internal bias. For example, if we're hiring somebody and the person looks like us, we might be more lenient towards them. But if the person looks a little different, we might be a little bit more strict with the requirements for the position.
I literally just took a course at work that I was forced to take a couple weeks ago, talking to me about emotional intelligence. Bitch, are you fucking dumb? Let me go to work. Then at the end of the course, in order to finish the course, it's a black woman on it the whole way through, right? At the end of the course, in order to finish it and complete it so you can go back to work, they make you listen to a fucking R&B song at the end of the... They literally make you, because throughout the entire course while the black woman is talking, there's like, you can hear like a little R&B song playing in the background. It's like nice and soft. Not that big of a deal, right? But then at the end they say, yeah, so now in order to complete this course, we want you to listen to this beautiful song written by such and such. I'm like, the fuck are y'all talking about? And you get to the fucking, oh, bro. In other words, women made it.
And we might not hire them for that. And I can't remember if it was this specific course or if it was another course. I recall one of them that I had to watch, which was about the platinum rule. Now, we know the golden rule. The golden rule is to treat others how we want to be treated. And I believe in that rule. Treat people with respect to a degree. Now, the platinum rule, on the other hand, is treat people how they want to be treated. So in this video, we were taught that we're supposed to introduce ourselves with our pronouns and then ask the person, hey, what do you want to be called? What are your preferred pronouns? How do you want to be treated? These videos are very frustrating to watch because it is social reprogramming. It is teaching us to act in a different way that is not the norm in our culture or any culture. Hey, thanks for sticking around with the video. I'm going to give a really brief interruption real quick. If you don't want to hear it, you can skip forward a little bit. I have timestamps. IB department. One of these webinars was very lazy. They pulled up this video from YouTube and started playing it. 5 tips on being a better ally. Before I realized these webinars were not mandatory, I was attending these webinars because I thought I was supposed to. One of the earlier webinars, the topic was know your privilege. It was for us to understand that our coworkers might not have lived as privileged of a life as we have. This webinar literally promoted prejudice. By default, when I look at my coworkers, I assume they are just as educated as me, maybe even more educated, depending on their position. And whatever challenges in life they had, it shouldn't matter because everybody has challenges in their life. As a Muslim, I believe that every single person is tested and challenged.
Right, we're here to do a job. And here's the thing. I don't know why you were hired. I don't care. I wasn't part of the hiring process. So if you're here, I assume that you qualify. It isn't until I start working with you that I figure out whether you're overqualified, perfectly qualified, or not qualified. And then once that started happening, see, a nigga like me, I'm bound to say something. I'm like, hey, yo, bro, you holding us back. The hell you got going on? You sure you can do this job? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to say something. I'm going to say something. Y'all better ask my job. Hey, yo, shorty over there, she ain't showed up to work on time. Not one time. What we finna do about that? All right, man, I'll say something. I ain't no snitch. It's not a snitch if you run to the fucking criminal, bring the criminal in and say, hey, yo, so you gonna tell them? Nah. I'm telling you to your face, hey, yo, bro, we finna go and find out why you can't do what you supposed to do. Like, just letting you know. Like, I don't go behind niggas' back. I say it right in front of them. So
challenged. We all have tests and challenges that vary according to our capability. Some people's challenges are more difficult than others, but the reason why those people's challenges are more difficult is because those people are stronger and are capable of taking on those challenges. The larger the challenge, the more we grow once we get through those challenges. And that's what I believe in. I should not look at my coworker and say, okay, this guy's black, he must be uneducated, and he grew up in the ghetto. That is literally racist for me to look down on him and think that. Victim Olympics is not a productive conversation to have. I'm Arab. The FBI tapped my phone in the early 2000s. Else. Finally, I want to cover the DEIB department's initiative to gaslight us on transgenderism. Let me explain the Zwift game real quick. Zwift is an indoor cycling game. One aspect of the game is the experience points and the unlock system. You gain experience points according to the distance. You can use those experience points to unlock things from the store, such as different bikes and accessories for your character. With that said, whether you choose a male or a female avatar, the amount of experience points you gain is different. The developers took an account for the fact that women ride less distance than men. This is because, on average, women, they have less power and cadence, meaning they ride slower than men. And because they ride slower, within the same time frame, they don't ride as far. To make it more enticing for women, women have an experience point boost to make up for their lack of power. In addition to women having an experience points boost, there are also different online events such as races for people to join. There are also some races that are exclusive for women. So with that said, the game acknowledges there's a biological difference between men and women. That's why there are exclusive races for women, and that's why women gain experience points faster than men to make up for their lack of speed and inability to ride as far. Even though the game acknowledges these differences, therefore, the company acknowledges these differences. The company also tried to gaslight us that there is no difference between a woman and a trans woman. I can't recall.
You can't make this shit up. So basically what he just said is the game is designed to know that there's a difference between men and women to entice women to play the game or continue playing the game, giving extra experience to women to make up for the difference in which men can go faster and go further. And so to keep women invested, they gave them a point boost. They gave them an experience point boost so they would, be able to keep up with the men. But behind closed doors, the company itself is trying to tell people that there's no difference between a woman and a trans woman. You just can't make this stuff up, guys. You just can't make it up. Holy shit, asses are being taken.
Asses are being taken in ways that nobody can explain.
Asses are absolutely being taken.
Who this guest speaker was, but they brought in a guest speaker from a third-party organization. And at the end of this webinar, she was I recall one employee asking if there is any sort of physical advantage for a trans woman to compete in women's sports. This guest speaker, she straight up said that there's lots of misinformation being spread about the advantages of trans women competing against women and that there are no differences. This is just a flat out lie. So in 2018 in Connecticut, there was these two high school teenagers who competed in the girls' track and field. And these two transgender teenagers, Terry Miller and Andrea Yearwood, they both blew away the competition and broke all the girls' records for the 100-meter dash. This was a pretty big thing in the news at the time. I can't remember what.
Imagine, right? Imagine your daughter's gonna go up there and race, and this is what she's up against.
Which one it was?
First of all. Because what the hell? Because what the hell? Ain't no way my child going out there looking like that. You ain't gonna have no home to come home to, nigga.
Whether it was Terry or Andrea, I think it was Andrea, but Andrea was asked to be a guest speaker with our company in 2020 to talk about transgender rights in sports. I didn't attend this webinar at all, so I don't know how it went. But again, the company acknowledges that there's
I tell you what, if you live on the south side of Chicago and you trying to avoid the gang war, just be transgender, nigga. I don't imagine they shooting up too many transgender niggas over there. Sorry. You want to shit, I don't want to be a thug. I don't want to be a gangster. I don't want to be in the gang war. I'm going to put my mama wig on. Fuck it. I'm a transgender. Fuck it.
biological difference between men and women, but then brings on individuals like Andrea over here to promote transgender individuals to compete against women. Imagine a world where a company hires a full-time pest control associate for their company. This person's job is to make sure that all the pests, whether bugs, rodents, whatever, all the pests have to be cleared out of the building. And the moment that the person no longer has work to do, the company will have to let go of this position and lay off the full-time pest control associate. It's in that pest control associate's best interest to keep their job. So are they going to get rid of all the pests? No, they're going to keep some pests. In fact, they might even add more pests into the building so that they keep getting work. This is what DEI is like.
Exactly.
DEI is a scam. They need hatred to exist for their job to be stable.
Exactly.
If a company has an issue with discrimination, they would bring in an expert, like do a little bit of training, and then the expert moves on and leaves. Just like pest control. Pest control comes in, does their job, goes out. But that's not how it is. DEI is a permanent position. For their position to stay relevant, they need people to be riled up and divided. And that's what DEI does. It promotes prejudice. They want people to look at someone of different race and have prejudices of that person. They want sexual identity to be important so that it becomes a qualifier for hiring practices. This is a small bit of my experience with DEI. Honestly, this was a very frustrating video for me to record. It's actually very frustrating for me to recall these experiences, but I feel like it's important for me to share this experience. Most people who work in the game industry and who go through these DEI or DEIB trainings, they don't speak out about it. And I think it's important to speak out because it promotes racism. It promotes looking down upon people. It promotes victim mindset. It promotes victim Olympics. It's a scam. And I really hope that it gets eradicated from the gaming industry. Anyways,
Well, you and me both, my brother. But, you know, we got a long ways to go. This person says, let's monetize discrimination. 2, make more discrimination. 3, profit. That's what it is. It's a scam, guys. It's a scam. They can't think about it. Think about all of the black women that get hired in these diversity, equity, and inclusion chief officer positions. If you stop being racist, which is impossible because I think that everybody's racist. That's just my personal opinion. Okay. If you stop being racist, guess what? They make no money. They can't exist without it. Which is why and I believe they understand the same thing I do. Black women are one of the most overtly racist motherfuckers in America. Black women are like the only group. See, like black men can be openly racist. Don't get it twisted. But the only black men that are openly racist are the ones who ain't getting no fucking money, right? If you openly racist as a black man, it's likely because you ain't getting no fucking money. Because you can't be racist anywhere else and think people gonna actually try to break bread with you. So any black man who's racist, who's actually getting money, he has to be racist on the low. But black women, because they're a woman and they gonna get theirs anyway, they gonna get a cut of the pie anyway. They are the most overtly racist. And they're able to be two-faced with it. Black women are the only demographic in this country that can be overtly racist and still force their way into corporate America. Like a black woman can come into an interview. Everybody that interviews her is white, and she's gonna say, "You're a cracker. You're a stinking Jew. You're an Asian piece of shit. I hate all you niggas. I'm the most disrespected. You guys hate us so much. Hire me." And the fucking room will sit there and go, "She's got a point. She's hired." And then after you realize you made the mistake, as a white dude, as a liberal white guy, you realize you hired this monster. She's running around the office. You done hired a couple of these monsters. And now you walking around here thinking about how much you can't stand black women. I don't know, Mr. What's his name. I was trying to think of some insults. I'm not hip on Jewish people, so I couldn't think of no insults, so I just threw out stinky. You're right, though. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. It absolutely makes no sense. Motherfuckers show up late. Always got an attitude. Motherfucker take every bit of every vacation they possibly can. Ain't did no work, but got all the vacation in the world. But, you know, it is what it is. Shout out to him for doing that video. That was great. I still say, though, Khalif Adams, you got to come talk. You got to make this make sense. Because you keep saying, oh, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. Well, nigga, the developers are telling us that is how it works. So, I don't know. Let's move on, though.
Oh, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you,